closed all the blinds. I could see them taking pictures. Yeah, there you go. Right. That's some of the stuff they brought out. I could see them taking pictures in the garage.
There are nights that change everything. Nights that appear ordinary on the surface, so quiet that no one feels compelled to question them, until the silence itself begins to feel wrong. Nancy Guthrie lived through one of those nights. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The people who lived closest to her did not simply witness isolated moments. They saw shadows moving behind windows. They heard sounds carried through walls. They observed shifts in behavior that, taken together, formed a pattern too clear to ignore, even if it was impossible to fully understand at the time. What makes this story different is not indifference. It is restraint. The neighbors did not remain silent because they lacked concern. They remained silent because someone made them believe that speaking openly would carry consequences. Subtle warnings, implicit pressure, a quiet understanding that attention could invite retaliation. No direct threats were always required. Sometimes implication is enough, so the questions linger. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. What truly happened inside that house? What unfolded during those darkest hours? And why did the truth remain buried for so long beneath hesitation, fear, and unspoken awareness? Nancy Guthrie's story is not confined to one individual. It reflects a broader reality. What happens when a community recognizes distress but struggles to intervene? It reveals the emotional burden carried by people who sense something is wrong but are unsure whether intervention will help or harm. Silence, in moments like these, does not erase reality. It only delays confrontation with it. Nancy was remembered as someone who brought warmth into spaces. Those around her described a presence that felt attentive and thoughtful, someone who remembered small details, who showed up when others needed support, who understood the quiet value of connection. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. She grew up in an environment where familiarity mattered, where neighbors knew one another, where relationships were visible and community carried meaning. That foundation shaped how she approached life, how she built friendships, how she viewed responsibility toward others. By her late 30s, her outward life appeared stable. A home, work she valued, relationships that had endured time. From the outside, there was nothing that immediately suggested fracture. But stability on the surface does not always reflect stability within. Behind the visible rhythm of daily life were pressures she did not openly discuss, concerns she absorbed privately, a relationship that may have begun with care but gradually shifted subtly at first into something marked by control and emotional constraint. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. These shifts rarely announce themselves dramatically. They emerge through patterns, corrections disguised as concern, boundaries quietly narrowed, decisions influenced by pressure rather than choice. Over time, such dynamics reshape perception. They challenge confidence. They introduce doubt into one's own interpretation of events. For Nancy, recognition did not come instantly. It developed slowly, often accompanied by uncertainty about whether what she felt or observed was valid. By the time clarity formed, distance from support systems had already increased. This is the part that is often misunderstood. It is not only fear that keeps someone in a difficult situation. It is erosion, the gradual weakening of certainty, autonomy, and trust in one's own judgment. That process can unfold quietly, without dramatic confrontation, until leaving feels complicated and unpredictable. The neighbors began noticing fragments of that change. A hesitation before stepping outside, a shift in tone, moments of stillness that suggested internal calculation, small signals that, individually, could be explained away, but collectively formed an impression that something was unsettled. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Awareness, however, does not automatically transform into action. Those who observed found themselves standing at a crossroads between instinct and uncertainty. They understood that intervening without clarity might escalate risk. They also understood that doing nothing carried its own moral weight. After that night, something within the neighborhood shifted. Not publicly, not through open discussion, but internally. People watched more carefully. They listened differently. They became aware that silence had meaning, and that recognizing a problem without responding to it creates its own form of consequence. The events that followed would test not only individual resilience, but collective responsibility. And the question that remained was simple, yet profound. When warning signs appear in plain sight, who decides when hesitation ends and action begins? Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The first indication that something was wrong did not arrive with chaos or confrontation. It came through absence, through a silence so complete it felt almost tangible. It was a Tuesday evening, ordinary in appearance, the kind of night that would normally disappear from memory without leaving a trace. Yet, something disrupted that normal rhythm. Margaret, Nancy's neighbor and a retired school teacher accustomed to observing detail, noticed that the warm amber light from Nancy's kitchen, a glow usually visible every evening as she cooked, was off. Not dimmed, not flickering, completely dark. Behind it, the house remained still. At first, Margaret searched for explanations. Perhaps Nancy had gone out. Perhaps she was tired and had gone to bed early. People are allowed to change their routines. But the explanations did not settle. The car was still parked in the driveway. No movement had been seen throughout the day. The absence was not isolated, it accumulated. Each detail, insignificant on its own, began forming a pattern that felt increasingly difficult to ignore. She considered knocking. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Standing at her window for several minutes, watching the quiet house across the street, she weighed the decision. The hesitation was not indifference. It was uncertainty mixed with instinct, a quiet sense that this situation might not be resolved by a simple check-in. There was an unspoken fear that approaching the door could mean stepping into something volatile. She did not yet know how accurate that fear was. On the other side of the property lived David and Priya, a younger couple who had settled into the neighborhood 2 years earlier. Their relationship with Nancy had developed naturally through proximity, shared tools, brief conversations, small acts of mutual help. They understood her routines. They recognized normal patterns. That evening, David became aware of something that interrupted those patterns. Through the shared wall, he heard voices.
I wanted to come on and it's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and
not casual conversation, something sharper. The words were indistinct, but the tone was unmistakable. It carried tension. It suggested restraint over anger. Someone was trying to contain a confrontation rather than let it unfold openly. Then, abruptly, silence. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Not calm silence. The kind that follows escalation. The kind that feels heavier than noise. David and Priya looked at each other. After a moment, David asked quietly, "Should we call someone?" Priya responded with uncertainty that reflected the dilemma in front of them. Who do we call when we're not sure what we heard? That question lingered. It exposed the central conflict, the gap between suspicion and certainty. Without clear proof, intervention felt risky, but inaction carried its own weight. What they did not yet understand was that the person inside that house had long anticipated situations like this. He understood visibility. He understood perception. He had built an external identity carefully, charming in conversation, attentive in social settings, familiar within the neighborhood. He remembered names. He told stories convincingly. He shook hands with confidence that made people feel at ease. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Outwardly, he appeared integrated into the community. No obvious hostility marked his presence. No public conflict defined him, because conflict, if it existed, remained contained within private walls. But inside the house, the dynamic was different. Nancy came to understand that difference gradually. Control rarely announces itself at the beginning. It often enters through subtle adjustments, concerns framed as protection, corrections framed as care, suggestions that slowly shift into expectations. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Over time, those small shifts accumulate. By the moment awareness formed clearly for her, distance from support systems had already expanded. Conversations outside the relationship became monitored or questioned. Connections weakened. Confidence in her own interpretation of events began to erode through repeated contradiction and doubt. She started to question not only behavior around her, but her perception of it. This erosion is rarely visible to outsiders. It is not sustained by constant confrontation alone. It is maintained through repetition, through the gradual undermining of certainty, through the slow replacement of independence with dependence. Fear plays a role, but isolation plays a deeper one. Piece by piece, autonomy weakens without dramatic breaking points. The neighbors began noticing fragments of change, hesitations before leaving the house, shifts in posture, moments of stillness that felt heavier than before. Each sign alone could be explained away. Together, they formed an impression that something within that home had shifted. Yet awareness did not automatically translate into action. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. After that Tuesday night, something in the neighborhood changed, not visibly, not publicly, but internally. People became more observant, more cautious, more aware that silence itself can become evidence. Margaret began, quietly, to keep mental records, tracking when lights turned on or off, when cars moved, when activity appeared or disappeared. She told herself she was simply being attentive. In reality, she was documenting uncertainty. And when someone who values control senses they are being observed, they often respond, not with aggression, but with subtle correction. He noticed her attention. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The glances, the pauses at her window, the careful observation. He approached her politely. He spoke calmly. His words remained ambiguous, framed as friendly concern, as reminders about privacy, as casual observations about neighbors misunderstanding situations. Nothing direct, nothing explicit, but the implication was clear. The message did not need to be spoken plainly to be understood. That interaction achieved its purpose. It shifted behavior. It reinforced hesitation. It demonstrated that awareness had consequences. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The power of intimidation often lies in suggestion rather than declaration. And in that moment, silence once again became strategic, not because people stopped caring, but because they were made aware of potential cost. He never said anything that could be recorded or quoted. Nothing direct. Nothing that could easily be presented as proof. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. He understood restraint. Instead, he delivered implications, subtle warnings embedded in ordinary conversation. A casual remark to David about how neighborhoods can become complicated when people make assumptions. A brief exchange with Priya, framed as friendly advice about the importance of minding one's own business in close living spaces. They were small statements, delivered calmly, almost politely, but they carried weight. Those who heard them would later replay the words in their minds, questioning whether they had misinterpreted tone or projected meaning onto something harmless. That uncertainty was intentional. The power lay not in threat, but in suggestion. The message was clear without being explicit. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Caring would come with consequences. Attention would invite discomfort. Speaking up could shift the balance in ways no one was prepared to manage. Over time, the neighbors pulled back, not because their concern disappeared, but because the boundary between protection and risk had become blurred. He had positioned himself as something undefined but imposing, a presence large enough to influence behavior without needing to act openly, a threat without a defined form, and that ambiguity made him harder to confront.
I hate to say it, it could be one of those, but certainly his abduction kit he has in the back. Handcuffs, electrical ties, duct tape.
Inside the house, Nancy was facing a different reality. She had made one attempt to reach beyond the walls. A phone call to a friend who lived 2 hours away. Short, controlled, carefully spoken. She did not reveal everything, only enough to signal that something felt wrong. That call did not remain private. The conversation that followed inside the house was the most intense confrontation she had experienced up to that point. It served as a warning, clear enough to communicate that her attempt to seek support had been observed. After that, she stopped trying. For a period of time, she believed isolation was complete, that no one outside could see and no one outside could help. But while she felt alone, the environment around her had not fully withdrawn. The neighbors were still observing cautiously. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. 3 weeks after choosing deliberate silence, Margaret experienced a moment of reflection that altered her hesitation. While washing dishes one evening, memories surfaced of a student she had once taught, a quiet girl who wore long sleeves even in warm weather. Margaret remembered noticing, remembered wondering, remembered convincing herself it was not her place to intervene. She remembered how that uncertainty had ended. The memory created discomfort she could no longer ignore. She put down the dish. She picked up her phone. She did not call law enforcement immediately. She searched privately for a local domestic violence resource line and called that number instead. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The conversation lasted a long time. She described what she had seen: the silence, the tone shifts, the interaction at her door. She explained the subtle comments that had followed. She asked a critical question: how to act without increasing danger. On the other end, someone listened carefully. For the first time in weeks, Margaret felt that her observations were not being dismissed. She was guided on documentation. She was told what patterns to watch. She was informed that the behaviors she described, those indirect warnings, were recognized tactics, often used to create fear without leaving evidence. She was told plainly, her instincts were not irrational. They were valid. The next day, she began documenting everything. What followed was not dramatic escalation. It was gradual coordination. Margaret compared notes quietly with David and Priya when the opportunity allowed. They discussed details carefully, ensuring conversations did not reach anyone who might feel threatened by awareness. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. A third neighbor, Carl, who had lived on the street for decades, eventually admitted that he had observed inconsistencies for months. He had noticed behavior that unsettled him, but had assumed it was isolated incidents rather than part of a larger pattern. Each person carried regret for waiting. Each also understood why they had hesitated. They moved carefully because they recognized a difficult truth: acting impulsively could intensify danger. Timing mattered. Strategy mattered. Coordination mattered. The resource advocate connected Margaret with local authorities in a controlled manner. Information was shared carefully. Steps were taken deliberately. The process was not linear. There were delays, questions, moments when momentum slowed and doubt resurfaced. Margaret often sat at her kitchen table wondering if involvement would worsen the situation rather than resolve it. Uncertainty accompanied action. Meanwhile, Nancy was navigating her own quiet resistance. Within the structure of her daily routine, she identified small periods when supervision relaxed, moments predictable enough to rely on but brief enough to remain unnoticed. During those intervals, she began writing. She recorded dates, incidents, specific words, behavioral shifts, details that felt small in isolation but significant when preserved together. It was a private record, not shared, not announced, created in case it would one day be needed. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. She did not know when it might matter. She did not know how events would unfold. But something inside her, the part that had not been completely worn down, insisted on preparation. The night everything shifted was not marked by warning. It unfolded during what appeared to be an ordinary evening. Then something inside the house escalated. A sound, a moment, an intensity that crossed from private conflict into undeniable emergency. It was no longer ambiguous. It could not be interpreted as routine tension. This time, David did not hesitate. He did not ask Priya what they should do. He picked up the phone, called emergency services, and remained on the line until help arrived, providing the address clearly and without delay. When official vehicles pulled onto the street and lights reflected across the neighborhood, people stepped quietly to their windows. The silence that followed was different. Nancy eventually emerged from the house. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Those who saw her expected to see destruction written visibly across her body. Instead, she appeared like someone who had been carrying an invisible weight for years and had finally been allowed to set it down. The word often used in moments like this is broken. It did not fit. She looked exhausted. She looked changed, but she also looked present. Margaret was standing outside. Their eyes met. No explanation was necessary. The exchange confirmed something powerful, that Nancy had not been invisible. She had been observed with concern, not indifference. The response from the community had not been perfect. It had been delayed. It had been cautious. It had been uncertain, but it had happened. The recovery that followed was neither immediate nor simple. Healing after prolonged control and fear rarely is. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Yet it was real. Nancy's story remains uncomfortable. It resists easy resolution. It forces reflection on what people notice and what they delay acting on. Somewhere right now, a similar situation is unfolding. Someone is watching quietly from a window. Someone is documenting privately. Someone is hesitating between fear and responsibility. The lesson embedded in this story is not about certainty. It is about action despite uncertainty. You do not need absolute proof. You need awareness and the willingness to make one call. Because silence, even when well-intentioned, can become the barrier that allows harm to continue. And sometimes, one decision to speak breaks that barrier. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos.